Okay, what are you saying, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always, guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, make sure you do go and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Make sure you do check out the Elevating Traders Discord channel, completely free to join. Link to that in the description below. You can find updates there. You can chat with other traders, chat with myself, share ideas, and discuss different opportunities in the market. So if you are interested in joining the community, check it out. Links in the description and also at the top of the chat. But guys, welcome. Hope everyone is doing good. What's up, Tony Gold? Hope you're doing good. Philip, good morning. Hope you're well. What's up, Ahmed? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. So, as always, we'll go through USD side of things first. Dollar, USD majors, gold, silver. Any requests, let me know. Put it in the chat. We'll discuss any time frames as well. Let me know, and we will go through it. But we'll start with the dollar, as always. Now, the dollar was pretty bearish yesterday. Nothing too crazy. It looks like momentum is kind of slowing down, given the fact that we've had a very volatile few days with everything, to be honest. But you can see we're kind of just stuck in this consolidation here. So price isn't really doing much. Still sort of respecting support. Hasn't really broken out of that yet. If we scale to the weekly chart, look to the left, there's a pretty big level here, and price is still kind of just dancing between that. So I'm still expecting a bit of a pullback for the dollar. It's a bit stretched. We've seen a pretty big move to the downside, so naturally the market is likely to find support at some stage and pull back. So I'm looking for some upside for the dollar. As I spoke about earlier, I still do like the shorts from this area. Nice support on daily chart. If we were to get into that, respect it, I think there's a good chance we do turn around. So naturally that looks like a nice place for a short to me. But of course, first things first, we have to actually get there first to actually start looking to short the dollar. At the moment, it looks like consolidation is still just about holding. And if I get this out of the way, we know it's there. You can see price is still just about respecting support there on the left. So yeah, I'm not really looking to buy the dollar. I'm expecting we trace, but I'm not really looking to buy it. That's not really the trade I'm after. Possibly if it improves, maybe I might consider. But at the moment, I'm just focusing on the pullback. That's where all the momentum is. So if I can see a nice corrective push back into 101.5, 101.6, I'll be more than happy to look for shorts on the dollar and pretty much look to long euro, which is one of the USD pairs I'm interested in. Not one of the best. Pound, Aussie, New Zealand look a little bit better. We'll get to them in a minute. But I still do like euro to the upside as well. Actually, if I go to the weekly chart, you can see how bullish this market has been. Taking out major highs here on the left. So again, the market's extremely bullish, very stretched, so likely to pull back at some stage. But I do think the bigger move is still to the upside for euro. I think we still got room to move into. But first, it would be nice for us to take a bit of a breather, take a bit of a rest, pull back, find some more buys, and then continue our journey. So drop into the daily chart. This is the level, the zone I'm looking to see if we can get into and potentially find some longs later down the line. So this is the area of interest around 1.11 would be the zone I'm interested in. At the moment, euro is just very, very flat. So not a lot to discuss really in terms of the current price action for the week, because we've just been moving sideways in this zone between 1.12 and 1.14. So not really interested in this price action. But if we kind of slowly roll over and correct the downside, well then that's something that I might be interested in for a long, because it's corrective, it's slow. If we see some solid rejections at this area, that would be a nice place to get long. Like I did say, I do have some preferences with the USD pairs. Pound USD looks a little bit better than euro because we still got some levels to attack. So if I expand to the weekly charts, I'm still looking for us to get back into resistance up here, more or less around 1.34. So I still do expect a bit more upside for pound. Of course, we had this massive V-shape correction or reversal. Very strong move to the downside. Was that last week? No, the week before. Then a very aggressive move last week. And now I'm simply looking for the continuation of that. So a retracement would be nice. Ideally, a retest of this area would be the best of the consolidation. So price would be kind enough to see a correction of that magnitude, that would be nice, but I'm not too sure we will. So if I quickly scale back to the weekly chart, there is a level on the left here which I'm keeping a close eye on. Prior resistance on the weekly there, really strong move to the downside. Now looks like we're clearing that. And a retest of that could provide some nice buying opportunities. Pull back, retest it. That could end up being a solid place for a long. And then again, looking to try and hold the trade back to 1.34. And yeah, probably call it a day. I probably wouldn't try and swing it past that point. But yeah, pound USD is pretty bullish to me. Very, very healthy price action. Lovely move to the upside. So just looking for the pullback of that. Preferably a retest of the range here would be nice. So pull back into 1.3. That would be best case scenario. Maximize the risk reward as well. But I think something like this is a little bit more likely to happen. So definitely going to keep an eye on the retest of 1.31. But target still at 1.34 for pound USD. Now, in terms of Aussie dollar, I like this one a lot. Again, very aggressive rejection a couple of weeks back. We had that massive sell, recovered with a really big buy. So now I do think there is more upside to be had. The tricky thing with this one, excuse me, is that we are coming to a lot of resistance. So, I mean, it might be a blessing in disguise because I'm actually looking for us to actually retrace. And maybe if we do respect that level, might actually give me the retracement I'm after. Ideally, I would like to see a pullback into this zone. Price support, price broke through, broke back above. Would be nice for a retest and a continuation. So if I just tidy that up. So if we could see a pullback into this area, again, very similar trade I did to pound, which is just looking to follow that bullish momentum that we've had over the past few days. Looking for a pullback, high, low, and then a continuation. So that's still very much the plan there with pound USD and Aussie dollar. At the moment, trading to resistance. So I'm not interested about buying the market right now. This is where the sellers are sitting in the market. As we can see, really strong selling pressure from this level in particular, 0.638. So I'm staying away from that. But if we can pull back, respect support, that would be a nice buy. Or if price is just very bullish for whatever reason and we break to the upside well, then I would consider some pullbacks and a retest of the zone for a long as well. But I'm only interested in the buys right now with Aussie dollar, so that is what I'm fixated on, and it's definitely part of the watch list. Ends the USD, same situation as well. If I expand to the weekly chart, you can see we had that aggressive sell, then a very aggressive buy last week. So I do think there's more upside to be had, but first I do need to see a pullback. We've completely broke through the high here, so I'm looking to see if we can pull back and retest that. I was also considering this level at the beginning of the week, but we've really ripped away from that. So it would be nice just to see price come back into a level of support. And again, looking to buy it for at least a pushback to wherever we form that high. Let's say if we pull back here, then naturally that will be a good target to have for the trade. So yeah, very bullish on these pairs. And as you can see, the bias for USD weakness is still very much live. But first thing first, do need to see a correction, which I think is on the horizon. The way the market has moved, it's showing signs of fatigue and it's pretty stretched as well. So I do think at least we'll see a little bit of a correction before price does continue a lot higher. So still waiting on that. In terms of gold, so yeah, gold just very, very bullish. You can see another strong day for gold. We continue to fly, and yeah, I mean, it's just very impressive price action. Have we hit 33.50? Yes, we have. So next stop, 3,400. And then, of course, you got 3,500, which is still not too far away, which really shows how bullish the market has been, because we only hit 3K not long ago, and now price is not far away from going 50% beyond that. So it's been very, very bullish gold. But in terms of the analysis, again, it's the same thing, same situation. Pretty much just looking for the pullbacks. The market is far too bullish to be looking to try and call any tops. Sure, at one point gold is going to put a top in and have a bigger pullback, but who's to know when that is going to happen? It could happen now, it could happen at 3,500 potentially. So you still could be holding a loss for that long. You don't want to be in that situation. So with gold, I think the safest play and the best play is just to be looking to buy the market. It's extremely bullish. Still seeing a lot of momentum. I like the consolidation here at 32.35. If the market could retrace and retest that, I think that would be a really nice opportunity for a swing position. Even still, a retest of the high looks good, but I think this is a little bit more likely to happen. Lower time frames, hourly chart, even hourly chart pulling back into a nice area. Again, you can see we had a brief stall here, then price push to the upside. We're seeing some nice healthy wicks into that zone. I think this could be a nice place for a buy actually, and continuation back into the high. So if we don't respect that intraday level, we might pull back into that consolidation, which could be a nice trade on even the full hour as well. But yeah, very bullish on gold, expecting price to return back to highs and then some. We've got the next big psychological level at 3,400, so I'll keep an eye on that. And in terms of silver, so silver, another bullish day as well. Again, still staying a little bit more cautious of silver because of where we're trading. Gold, we're just in the middle of nowhere, all-time highs, but silver, we have been pretty bullish for silver. You know, pretty impressive recovery. We haven't fully recovered yet, but that was a huge move to the downside, and we've pretty much erased 75% of that. But you can see where we're trading back into some support turn resistance, you know, back into where all that selling pressure really kicked into the market. So that's why I said I'm not really comfortable buying silver right now. I know it's a nice up move, but we're just coming back into where we sold off from. So at least from a swing point of view, not the best place to buy silver. Day trading, of course, if you're looking to get in and out, you might find a nice buy there intraday, but you don't want to be holding longs from this area. If we can pull back into support, that would be nice. Perhaps even a retest of the low here. That could be something I can build from. I did say this area could be interesting. I think it still is, but I wouldn't look for a swing trade from that. I think shorter term trade, maybe even on the 15-minute, we've already seen initially a nice reaction there. If price was to sell off a little bit more, that could end up being a nice trade on the lower time frame. And again, potentially for a day, but I'm not too sure if I'll look to hold it more than that, given the fact that we are finding resistance at this area. And even if we break through that, we still got areas like such above us, which again could invite more sellers into the market and you know, mess things up a little bit. So still bullish from silver as in the long-term move, but don't really have an opportunity for that long-term play yet. Short-term, I think there could be some nice buys off that zone, but again, I wouldn't try and hold that trade for long either. Yeah, push back into resistance here, which is where the consolidation is. I think that looks like a healthy target, and you can probably call it a day. You can only leave positions to run because we don't know how far a trade will go, so leaving that position to run can always be a healthy thing. But when you've got clear resistance above you, it's smart definitely to take at least the bulk of your profit off coming into that level. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with USD, gold, silver, that sort of market. So yeah, still very bearish on USD, but I do want to see some pullbacks, and that's exactly what I've been saying since the start of the week. Anyway, what's up, Alfonso? Okay, good to hear. Euro just wondering if a good short at 1.12. Okay, we'll take a look, no problem. Julius, what's up? Hope you're well. Welcome to the stream. Ben, what's the day for gold? Yesterday, I know gold was just flying. Exceptional price action. I think, yeah, I don't know. Gold is just absolutely going along because you see a big bullish move for gold. You're like, okay, now probably it's going to relax a little bit. But it's not. It's still going. You know, after these 3 bullish days, I was like, okay, probably gold's going to relax a little bit now because that's a really big move. Not only because it happened so quickly, but if you look at the size of the move, if I was to measure that in pips from the wick to the top of that 3rd candle, it's equivalent to the size, of almost this bullish move here in just 3 days, which is insane. It took us a good, I don't know, probably 20 plus days to do that. And then three days give us pretty much the same move from that drop. So market's been very volatile, covering ground very fast. and then we had a stall for about 2 days, and then we see another big candle as well. So if I was to measure from the top there, we're putting in some really big moves in about 5 days, 6 days. We've covered more than that. We've done a very big move, almost the size, well, pretty much the size of this move actually. Yeah, even slightly bigger to be honest, from that low to that high. In 6 days we've done that. So yeah, silver's been bullish too, but gold's just been absolutely flying. So I do think we're going to hit a top soon, but by no means I'm saying look to short gold. Absolutely not. If anything, I think still look to buy as long as momentum looks good. We're not seeing any heavy selling pressure coming to the market. I think buy still makes sense, but yeah, it's been exceptional past few days for gold. Okay, which is more aggressive play for gold. Makes me think that short-term top could be near when everyone gets so aggressively bullish like this. True, that's true. That's a good point, Ben. If everyone's buying gold and then the price starts to get extremely high, we could see a bit of a flush to the downside to get rid of them and shake some people out. But yeah, even if we do see that, we'll probably just keep ripping, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, again, no market's going to go straight to the upside forever. There's a balance to it. Even gold, if you look at past cycles as well, when we've been extremely bullish, we've seen some massive moves, but normally there are some massive moves back down again. The last big bull run, if I go to the daily chart, arguably over here, I think that was COVID, that drop there anyway. But very aggressive move, very big relief, very aggressive move, very big relief. Look how big that candle is there. Of course, these will be fundamentally driven as well, but in terms of price action, if the market's going to be very, very stretched to the upside, no matter what market, even crypto as well, especially crypto or even FX, we will see kind of big corrections of that, because there's just going to have to be that sort of correction to keep the market healthy. So gold being absolutely bullish right now is fantastic, but at some point, of course, the top's going to form. It's going to be a pretty nice one as well. But where it does form and when, difficult questions to answer. All major banks calling for 4K and 4.5K gold. Baiting in retail. Did they, what was the time horizon for that, if you know it? Are they saying 4K by the end of the year, or? Ivan, morning, hope you're well. What's up, CS Integrated? Hope you're doing good. Welcome to the stream. Ivan, enter the short position on Swiss yen. Okay, entry 175. Okay, we'll take a look. No problem. Enter that on Tuesday morning. Okay, we'll see. Bahram, welcome to the stream. Aussie dollar is not already covered. Please take a look. Okay. And trying for shorts. Okay, it is at nice resistance, to be honest. So would make sense. Anyway, let me go through Euro USD for Alfonso, and then I will take a look at Swiss yen, and we'll go through Aussie dollar as well. Of course, any requests, just drop it down in the chat and we'll take a look. And also let me know the time frame as well, because I know some of you are working on different time frames. But yeah, Euro USD, 30-minute, did you say, Alfonso? Wondering for good short at 1.121. Okay. Where is that? Wait, you're looking to short it at 1.121? Oh, to 1.121. Okay, misread you, my bad. I mean, I'm expecting it to retrace, but I'm not so enthusiastic about the shorts with Euro. I say that because there's still a lot of momentum, and we're still seeing strong-ish closes on the daily chart to the upside. So it's still telling me momentum is bullish. As I drop to the 4 hour, I can just see we're pretty much sideways as well. So if you're looking to short Euro, it's definitely a bit more of an aggressive play. You're going against momentum. But I'd like to see if price can get right to the high first, maybe even spike through that area as well, like we did on the left, because that way I can get a nice stop loss above the high here. So I'm kind of well positioned for potentially that move. Otherwise, a stop loss kind of like there. It's a bit more vulnerable, a bit more at risk. I think, yeah, odds are not really stacked in your favor there. To be honest, unless price is right at the top, then you've got a bit more going for you, especially with your stop loss placement. So yeah, I'm expecting price to retrace, to be honest. I do think we can get back to 1.11, 1.115. So I'm looking for price to hit your target and go further. This is where I'm looking to pick up some longs, hopefully, for euros. So I do think we can get there, but in terms of how we make that, whether we drop right now, whether we push up first, whether we go and create new highs potentially before we see a bigger pullback, that's all a possibility as well. So I think the shorts for euro are definitely a bit more aggressive play. The market is, of course, starting to slow down as it is moving sideways, but I haven't really seen much selling pressure kick back into the market. So it doesn't really give me so much enthusiasm to be looking to short it just yet. But yeah, if I had to, I would wait for price to get right to the high so I can get stop loss in a relatively safe place. And then, of course, that will increase my risk to reward. Not necessarily, but it will get my entry a little bit higher up, which is always better. So yeah, euro, we could see that move. I'm looking for a similar move, to be honest, back into 1.11, yeah, 1.11. So I do think we can get there, but yeah, be aware that we might still push to the upside first before falling. But I do think we can make that retracement. Okay, let's take a look at Swiss yen. Oh, if I can spell it. There we go. So CHF JPY, I'm looking for some pullbacks and then some longs for this one. My zone of interest, 172, 750, we'll call it. Lovely range over there. Broke to the upside with a lot of momentum. I'm looking to see if we can retest that and then see some upside. Ivan, you said you're short from 175.401. Let me just get rid of my lovely drawings. There we go. So 175.401. Okay, so that's somewhere around here. You said you got short on Tuesday, didn't you? Yeah, it's Tuesday morning. So yeah, that'll be around there somewhere. So in a bit of profit, nice, looking good, looking good. Market is a little bit kind of flat. We did see initially some nice momentum in your favor, but now we're kind of just sideways. And again, because of how we're moving, it does lead me to believe that this is probably a correction of the big bullish move on our left here. So price has had a really big push. Now I'm expecting this to be a correction for us to continue higher. The question is how far and for how long do we correct for? You know, is the market ready to go now, or are we going to continue to sell off, which would be good for you and for me because I'm looking to buy from here. So I hope we do see a bit more downside. How have you managed the position? Are you currently break even, or is your stop loss still at the original place? 176.160. 160. Okay, that's about there. So your stop loss would be above the wick high there, I would imagine, with a bit of room. So I like the stop loss placement. And targets 172.5. So that's roughly around there. So basically what I'm looking to buy. So, I mean, I like the idea because you're looking to kind of short it to where the area I'm looking to buy it from. So I like the idea because I'm still expecting price to get there too. This is where we had a lot of bullish momentum. So if the market kind of wants to see another big move, we might want to tap back into that area before seeing some upside. So yeah, I do think the possibility for your target to be met is still looking pretty good. Market is still flat, so basically you don't really want to see price start breaking resistance here along with that trend line. If price can still stay respecting that, I think the trade still looks good. If price does start to look like it's breaking out the channel and breaking resistance, you can even look to potentially close the trade a bit early. Because if it is going to have a strong break of this area, most likely it is probably going to come and take your stop loss, to be honest. It's probably going to push back to resistance. Whether we break the resistance or not, that's a different question, but a push towards your stop loss above the wick high, I think would be likely. So if we do end up breaking the channel and resistance, maybe see a strong close in the 4H above that, You can be prepared to potentially close some of the position, or again, it depends how you want to manage it. But if we can stay respecting this area, basically 175-ish, I think it looks good, and we could see another bearish leg. So I think that will be a very pivotal area for you. If we can stay respecting it, should be looking good. If we don't, you can probably close the trade a little bit early and kind of mitigate potentially a loss there. But yeah, I'm looking for price to get there for a buy. So for your sake and mine, I would like to see price get there. But that's where all the bullish pressure came from. So I would imagine price has a good chance of getting there first before we do continue our journey. So I think it's a realistic expectation of the market. If I get the Fibonacci out, lines up pretty well with the 50% there too. So that's another reason why we could see a correction back into that area. Okay, so we'll go take a look at Aussie dollar next. By New York session. I just saw that message now. That's funny. Okay, it's for this year. Yeah, 4K by the end of the year. To be honest, at this rate, I wouldn't be surprised. It's not even halfway through the year yet, and we're not even far off 3,500. But yeah, it could be sucking in a lot of buyers, to be honest. I mean, so far, they're right. So kudos to them. Okay, dollar CAD, Julius, no problem. The 4 hour, yes, we'll take a look. And daily and 4 hours. So yeah, Alfonso does, again, especially with yesterday's close, with how Euro USD closed, I wouldn't say it's looking that great anymore. Like I said, I like the longs for Euro, not the biggest fan of the shorts. I'm expecting it to retrace, but it's always difficult. It's always a lot harder to predict the retracement than the continuation of a trend. Pound yen, yes, we'll add that to the list. Janish, no problem. Quick look at US oil for a while would be cool, but even a 30-minute will be appreciated. Okay, we'll have a look see as well. And BTC bent, no problem. Okay, let me get to Aussie dollar and dollar CAD. So Aussie dollar is on the watch list for myself. I'm actually looking to buy it, but I need a bigger retracement. So again, I understand you're looking for shorts, which makes perfect sense because we are trading into resistance we've really struggled to break. In fact, if I go to the weekly chart, you can see how many wicks price has been putting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, potentially 6. With the current weekly candle, you can see a lovely zone of support now flipped as resistance. It's actually a decent place to be looking to short the market. I do think the bigger moves to the upside, reason being because I'm looking at this being a bit of a bottom for the market. So I do think we can push up and eventually break above that level. But first, we may respect resistance first and have a bit of a sell-off, which would be good because I want price to retrace. It's been very bullish with this up move, not really giving me much opportunity to get into a trade. Now that we've hit resistance, perhaps we do go for a bit of a correction, and that could give me a chance to get into a position, at least trade it back into resistance maybe, but I would be looking to try and stretch that a lot further as well. So yeah, it's a nice place for a short. If you're looking for an entry, depends how you're looking to get by it. I think ideally, if you're looking to try and really maximize your risk rewards, you probably want to see another push to the upside. We are quite corrective anyway, so it's a possibility. Another push to the upside, and then look for entries in this area here roughly. You can get a nice stop loss, maybe an entry on the hourly chart. Then you can trade it back into the low of this kind of channel here. And then if you're lucky, if you catch a breakout, perhaps we go a lot further as well. And hopefully that will give me my retracement. But the market seems to be moving this ascending channel, which is, again, a good sign that we're ascending, we're becoming more corrective. Potentially price is going to start to push lower, especially because the move is quite stretched already. So I think all it needs is a bit of a push here to get Aussie dollar to roll over. That could be a nice sell. But yeah, I think the bigger move is a buy. So I'm just waiting for us to come down to appropriate prices, find some entries, and then take it to the upside. In terms of dollar CAD, so dollar CAD is an interesting one, still kind of trading at some key support to our left here. Daily, weekly support, price is still kind of just dancing on that level there. Again, we sort of kind of had a close below it last week, but I'm not quite convinced because it only just about did that. I want to see how this week's candle closes. So far, it's leaving a pretty big wick to the upside. So what it's telling me is that we've tried to come back for a retest. Well, tried to come back to break through, but it looks like it's just a retest. But again, I'm not going to say that just yet because we still got the rest of today and tomorrow before that candle closes, and a lot can happen in that time. But more or less, we're still trading in the area of support. So I'm looking for some retracement for dollar CAD. Like I said, I'm not really interested with buying dollar or buying dollar CAD. I'm more fixated with the shorts. So these are the areas I'm looking to see price can get to and then catch some selling opportunities. So 1.406 looks good. 1.416 as well looks really good for a short. And because we've got such a big zone just beneath us, I'm not looking for anything crazy. If we can get a push into that zone, respect it, I'll probably look to try and take some profits as we come back into that area. Probably will leave positions to run, but I definitely will be booking some profits at that level. So yeah, dollar CAD, I still expect a bit of retracement. Perhaps a bit of a double bottom could be a nice trade. If we get right to the low, respect that. That could be a nice position. But yeah, I think the shorts would be the better idea. Flowing with momentum, market's still incredibly bearish. So that's the idea, which I see has a bit more confidence to it. So I'll be waiting for that to happen. In terms of oil, and I'll take a look at pound, yen, and BTC. So oil, 4-hour and 30-minute charts. So yeah, oil, I've spoke about some upside with this one. Okay, looks like we didn't quite make it back to support there. Last time I spoke about oil, I said if you can get the breakout, might see some nice buys off this area. Looks like price just found support a little bit higher than expected. We are pushing back into resistance now. I think the key thing with oil was how the weekly candle closed last week. So if I get rid of some of these drawings there, you can see last week's candle. Well, the week before we had an impressive bearish candle, which of course broke support here. You can see with my crosshair. And then we came down pretty hard last week, but pulled back, almost closes the doji, but just essentially giving us a very exaggerated wick. So, price is running out of steam. So it looks like support is forming and we could be pushing back, but we still got massive resistance above us. So the key thing with oil is to see what we do around 66, because if we get there, respect it, well, yeah, oil's definitely got a lot of room to fall into there, and we could see oil really tank. If we recover this, then it could be a massive fake out. I'm keeping a close eye on the monthly chart for that, because by the end of the month, so end of April, if this candle does pull back and closes above support there, well, in my eyes, support is pretty much just held there for the month, and we could see a bullish May, as price respects it. So I think the monthly close will paint a big picture in terms of what we could see next month as well. But so far, it looks like we are seeing retracement here, and the market is slowly pushing higher. So I'm looking for us to get into 66 now, and then we can see what happens, whether we respect it or break above it. If price starts respecting it, I think that'll be a lovely place for a short. If you do break above, it will be a lovely place for a long as well. So either which way, I think there's a nice trade to be had. In terms of the 30-minute chart, let me just get rid of some of these drawings just to clean it up a little bit. In terms of the 30-minute chart, we are still looking quite slow here as we approach resistance. We had a really nice spike into the high there, nice push down. So I do think with oil, we might see a bit of a push down first. I do think we'll probably eventually break this. Still looking at a push into 66. But the way how we're moving so slowly, still seeing rejection there. I think this actually looks good for a short. For the short term though, I probably wouldn't try and hold that trade more than a day, to be honest. Because I do think the bigger move is likely to break that resistance at some point. There's a nice support level just below us here at 62.5-ish. I think that could be a healthy take profit, or at least a place to book some profits. So yeah, with oil, I do think we're like to get 66, and that will be a nice place to short from. At the moment, the 30-minute time frame still looking pretty fatigued, but we are coming to major resistance. So again, I do think some shorts look good there as well. Perhaps a nice double top. but I wouldn't try and hold that trade. I don't think we're going to get a long-term move from that area. I do think we're likely going to break through at some point, and 66 will be the place to be looking for opportunities. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with oil. Pound yen and BTC. Okay, nice. No problem. Ivan, happy to help. Long in trades, euro pound, we'll take a look as well for you. No problem. Hey, appreciate it, Julius. Appreciate it, my man. If you guys are enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like. It does really help out. Subscribe to the channel, and of course, make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But yeah, guys, I really do appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel and liking the stream. It does really help out and pushes the content as well. No problem, Manzondi, happy to help. Godfrey, Euro, Aussie. Okay, we'll add that to the list. But let's take a look at pound yen, and I'll take a look at BTC. So pound yen. So pound yen was pretty bearish yesterday. You can see that with the daily close, pretty bearish, but not really going anywhere, because if we look to the left where we're trading, we've got some really strong support here, which started a pretty big move to the upside. So until we can actually break through that, I'm not going to get excited about the selling pressure. I talked about pound yen sells back here. That's still my preferred area to short pound yen. For a swing, that is. I'm not saying that's the only decent place to short pound yen, but if you're looking to try and capitalize on a swing trade, as I keep speaking about, price potentially coming back to the low here. If you're going to look to try and capitalize on a move like that, now's not the best time to be looking to short it, because you've got support directly below you, and the market is already showing signs of rejection as well. So you want price to be up high, resistance back in supply. That would be a better place to try and look to capitalize on a move like that. I did speak about some shorts yesterday, though. I did say the market looked very, very tired, and we're probably going to see a reaction off the high there, which we eventually did. We dropped to the hourly chart. We had a very strong bullish close, but momentum just picked up and we fell over because there was no real sign of price breaking through. I know we had that strong candle there, but if you look at the 4-hour chart, you can just see how tired price is as we get there. It's kind of like a curve there. Yeah, as price kind of picked up momentum from the low, kind of slowly ran that momentum like that. You know, very rarely you're going to see price break to the upside and sustain unless something big happens, like a news event or something like that. Most likely we're going to roll over because we're just lacking momentum to break the level in the first place, especially when we had a decent reaction from there. So now that we've had that reaction, price has come back into support. We've had a very strong reaction. So we're probably going to push back into resistance now, and then we're going to see what happens from there. Like I said, support is holding, so I do think we can see a bigger correction here for pound yen at some point, and that's kind of what I'm banking on happening, which might take a week or two even for us to get there. So in terms of pound yen opportunities right now, it's not really looking ideal. I think there could still be some more shorts off the high, but I wouldn't look to hold it for too long. The fact that we had a very big short here quickly erased is a sign that we probably are going to break resistance at some point now. So if price does get there, maybe a little bit slower, I do think you probably see another reaction, but my guess would be that price would find support shortly afterwards and probably go and break through. So something like this could be worthwhile to capitalize on. Nice short perhaps on the 15-minute chart or 30-minute chart to capitalize on that. But we might go and find support and give us the breakout. So yeah, for pound yen, in terms of my personal kind of plan for it, is shorts around here. If I expand to the daily chart, you can see we've been very consistent with these lower highs. So there's your first swing high, there's your second, there's your third. My plan is to see if I can find the fourth somewhere, and again capitalize on another drop. I don't think price is likely going to break to the upside like that. Of course, it could happen. The beauty of trading is not predicting where price is going to go. It's just reacting to what the situation is. A good trade could arise out of nowhere, and you want to be prepared to take that. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm waiting to see if it can happen, and hopefully take some shorts from that level. In terms of BTC, last time I checked, it was struggling at resistance here. What are we doing now? Still struggling at resistance as well. So yeah, Bitcoin, we broke out of a nice trend line. So ever since that happened, I've been looking for a push to the upside for Bitcoin. I mean, we've seen a small one, but I'm more looking for price to get back to 92, 91K, which is kind of this zone here. So that's kind of where my target is for Bitcoin. I'm not necessarily looking for pushback to the all-time highs just yet. I mean, Bitcoin can do that out of nothing, but based on how corrected we've been to the downside, it would be nice to get a retest of that high there as well. But based on how correct we were to the downside, this is not really a reversal type of price action. You want to see a lot more selling pressure, a lot more fast-paced momentum, breaking levels, consistent pressure. The fact that every time we swept a low price, recovered very aggressively to the upside again is a sign that the sellers aren't really doing too much damage here. So because of how corrected we are, I said if we break through the trend line to the upside, that could be a nice catalyst to get price rolling. Haven't really seen that happen yet. We're kind of just consolidating. So what you could wait for Bitcoin is another breakout, this time of the consolidation and to the upside. If we can do that, then that probably is the catalyst to get us on our way. And 92K would be my kind of expectation. 92, 91K, that kind of zone there. Doesn't have to be 92K on the dot. But that kind of zone there is kind of where I expect price to get to. And that would be a relatively healthy target. So Bitcoin, I'm still pretty bullish. Looks like we're still respecting support here. So we got prior resistance. Price, of course, had it break out. And now we're kind of respecting our support. We've done it on a couple of occasions. So as long as we can stay above this level, respect it, then of course waiting for that resistance to clear as well. That could end up being a really nice trade. If Bitcoin was to break back underneath this range, you need to do that. Break back underneath the range and underneath the trend line, then we're back at square one again. And then I'll probably just leave Bitcoin alone, just let it do its thing, because at that point we're just a very noisy market in terms of how we're moving. There's no kind of consistency to the market because we're breaking above the trend line, breaking back below. Gets a bit awkward. So I don't want to see that happen. But yeah, still pretty bullish on Bitcoin. And I do think 92K, 91K is still a real possibility. But in terms of trading it, a break of the resistance would be the best. Just to confirm that bullish momentum is re-entering, because at the moment we're pretty flat. And it's pretty 50-50 which way we break out. In terms of Euro Pound, so Euro Pound's been very, very bullish, very strong move to the upside last week, of course. Huge gap to the downside with this current weekly candle. Was that a gap? No, it wasn't a gap. It was a slight gap, but it wasn't that big. FXCM just being weird. Because I was thinking, I didn't remember a big gap there for Euro Pound. I would have remembered that. Yeah, it was a slight gap, but not that big. The market just being weird. If I go to Oanda, yeah, Oanda doesn't have it there. So I don't know why I was doing that, to be honest. Anyway, so yeah, with Euro Pound, we did manage to get back to 0.85, which was a pretty big level if I go to the weekly chart. So we got major support on our left here. So as you can see, 0.85, 0.852. We've wicked into this level on a few occasions, and price has had a really big rejection from that. We've just about tapped into the area again. And yeah, we had a very strong bullish day from that, even last week as well with this push there too. So to me, it looks like Euro Pound could be forming some type of head and shoulder pattern. Because of course, you got the left shoulder here, you got the head and potentially the right shoulder. So I do think if price was to climb a little bit higher, this would be a nice place for a short. Potentially even respect resistance there as well. That would be nice. But again, this is kind of where we had that drop from. So that's kind of where the level of supply is. And so far, the move to the upside has been somewhat corrective. Bit of momentum there, but nothing alarming. Here we had a very strong push to the upside, especially with that final third candle there. If we can stay a little bit more corrective than that, bit slower pace, then yeah, I do think that could end up being a really nice short there for Euro Pound back into support for that right shoulder to fall. And of course, that would be your neckline. I wouldn't see if I could take it past that though. I think yeah, Euro Pound has still got a lot of bullish momentum in the higher time frames, but we've hit some big levels on the weekly, monthly chart. So retracement was what I was favoring this week, and we have seen some nice retracement now. But in terms of another sell opportunity, yeah, I would wait for something like this to at least happen before looking to short again. And then yeah, target is back at 0.852, makes the most sense to me. So yeah, pretty bearish on Euro Pound. I think there's still room to the downside for that one. In terms of Euro Aussie, so Euro AUD. So with this one, I'm kind of just keeping an eye on Euro Aussie because I do think there is room to the downside for a pretty big retracement, but overall the market is still pretty bullish. I have to be careful of that. I'm looking at the retest of this range here. So again, brief consolidation, massive move to the upside. I do think price is likely to come back and retest that at some stage. Dropping to the daily chart, we are forming a bit of support here. So we do need to clear that for us to really get going. 4 hour time frame. Yeah, I mean 4 hour was still failing at highs there. That was our last big bullish move. Failed to make a higher high. So it's a sign that we're starting to stall. But that support still looks pretty strong to me. So yeah, we really do need to break through that if we are gonna get that bigger sell. Yeah, so I would say actually buys actually still look good right now for Euro Aussie. If we were to push back into support, see another rejection, perhaps a nice wick through the level, I think that would be a nice buy. I wouldn't look to try and swing it all the way back to the all-time, don't know how you should call that, the all-time high. I think I'm looking at gold. I wouldn't try and swing it back to the high though, because I do think we are forming a bit of a top for that retracement. I still think price is likely to get back to that zone. But in terms of a nice trading opportunity, perhaps if you drop to the hourly chart, if we can revisit that level again, I do think you can catch a trade for a good few hours, maybe a move similar to this. And that could be a decent 1-to-1, 1-to-2, depending how you want to manage that. And that could be a decent trade. You know, take a piece of the cake there for Euro Aussie. And maybe next week, if we end up at this level, I think that will also be a nice place for a buy as well. Again, wouldn't be so keen to try and swing it all the way to the high. I think the market is quite stretched, so I think there's a greater probability that we're putting a high for the trend and the push back down rather than price continuing. So I'd be cautious about targets up there. There's nothing wrong again with having the target up there. It's just have our targets to take profit off the table, and I don't want to have just leave full position all the way there. I'm sure the risk reward would be nice, but the odds are price will probably turn against you at some point. So you want to protect yourself against that. But yeah, support looks pretty good so far. I like rejection on the daily chart, really nice wicks into the zone, so it's being respected well, but not looking for anything crazy. In terms of the crosses in general, I'm still keeping a close eye on pound NZD. Annoyingly, this has been pretty bearish this week, to be honest. If I go to the weekly chart, I mean, not crazily bearish, but we've just kind of pushed down ever so slowly. I was looking to see if we could have a bullish week back into resistance there, where I could hopefully look to pluck some shorts. Targets for pound NZD is still down here, back at 2.22. That's still where I'm looking for price to get to. If I drop to the daily chart, you can see solid resistance there. Price broke with a lot of momentum to the upside. We haven't come back to retest that since the breakout, so I do think price is likely to come and test that level. But the plan this week was looking to see if price can push up first, respect resistance, and then hopefully get the sell. And that would be the trade I look to take, which again, similar characteristic to a head and shoulder pattern. there's your left, there's your head, and of course there's your right shoulder there as well. So there is that possibility for price to roll over and potentially put a bit of a top into the trend. But at current price, not a lot for me to do. If anything, buys look the best bet. If we were to come down a little bit deeper, there might be a nice buy off that zone. Not so interested about the buys, to be honest, until we get there. And even then, I'm not really so interested about the buys either, because I'm not expecting this bullish trend to continue much higher for long. I think that would be a nice buy, but I'll probably keep it again a little bit more short term. I'm not expecting us to push back to these highs here. I could be wrong, but yeah, the way price is maneuvering, it looks like we are forming a bit of a top to the trend. So I think this is a nice place for a buy, but only for like 2-3 days there. Other than that, I wouldn't try and take that any longer. And yeah, if we can get back into resistance at 2.27, that'll be where I'm looking to short. I do think NZD and Aussie are going to start to gain some strength pretty soon, because they've been very weak. They've already started to gain some strength, but I think continued strength, because they've been exceptionally weak, which has helped the trends here for pound NZD, pound Aussie, euro NZD, euro Aussie. Of course, euro and pound have had their own strength, to be honest, but it's definitely helped with Aussie and NZD being very weak, which is kind of why you've seen Aussie dollar fall whilst euro USD's actually flown. So yeah, that euro and Aussie, pound and Aussie have been on the opposite side of the spectrum. I think that will slowly change as the days and weeks go by. So that's why I'm expecting a bit of a top to form. But in terms of the yen pairs, okay, take care, Ben. Have a good Easter as well, my friend. Hope to see you whenever next week, because it is Easter Friday tomorrow. Not Easter Friday, Good Friday tomorrow. I mean, I will still be live, but I'm not expecting it to be busy. And I think it's a bank holiday on Monday as well. But yeah, hopefully see you next week, and have a good weekend. So yeah, I'll go through some of the yen pairs. I'm still very interested in euro yen shorts, but it's been very slow, to be honest. So yeah, it's been a bit boring. As we can see, just kind of a lot of sideways, which is not really a big deal. Kind of just means resistance overall is still holding. And just because we're moving sideways is not necessarily a red flag. It just means difficult to find some nice opportunities with some nice stop losses. Because the more we continue to range, the more I kind of want to get my stop loss above the highs here, above the noise. I don't want to get a stop loss in here anymore, because I'm a bit more at risk to getting wicked out randomly. If my stop loss is here, I can still get wicked out, but the market's got to work a little bit harder to do that. And if I do get wicked out, I can always find a nice re-entry pretty quickly afterwards, and my risk reward will probably still be decent, and my entry will still be pretty high up as well. And of course, if price is going to continue to the upside, well, if I do get stopped out and price just continues, well, I was in the wrong direction anyway. So I wouldn't mind that, because the idea was not in the right direction. Whereas here, I could get stopped out a couple times and still see the move happen. So yeah, the more we consolidate, the more I do want to get a safer stop loss. Again, my structure is still very much at play. We've got the high over there, the low, the next lower high, the lower over there, and of course the next lower high there as well. So the structure is still in play as long as we don't go and break this level on the left. I do stay short bias, and targets, of course, all the way back down at support here. So that's still very much the play. But in terms of a trade now, I'm looking to see if we can push back into resistance here. Double top that, and then I can hopefully base a trade from there. So if we can do something like this, push up, respect resistance, boom. That would look like a lovely trade. And I bet the risk reward will be looking pretty good. There's potentially a 1 to 8 there. I'm not too sure if I hold full position all the way down. And of course, it probably will look a little bit different to when I actually do take the trade, but there is that potential risk reward on the way down. What's up, Esau FX? Hope you're well. Welcome to the stream. If you guys are enjoying the stream, by the way, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe. It does really help out. And of course, hit the bell too so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But yeah, Euro yen shorts is still something I'm very much focused on. Again, I would say Euro yen is the only yen pair which I'm looking to short. Swiss, I'm not looking to short anymore. It's had a way too big of a move and it's broken out of that trend line on the weekly chart. So I'm actually looking to buy Swiss yen actually. So this was the trend line I was originally looking at to see if price could hold. We had a massive candle last week breaking through that. So now I'm not really interested in shorting the market. Yeah, a breakout as strong as that above a crucial trend line probably wouldn't happen if the market was going to sell. So, and again, it still might sell, but not in the same way that I expected it to. So now I'm a bit more fixated on the longs. You can see we've got a nice little doji there, strong candle to the upside. If we can continue falling correctively, well, I do think this will be a solid place for a buy to take us higher. So Swiss yen, I was looking to sell it last week. That's gone out the window now. Now I'm actually looking to buy it. Ahmed, dollar yen, okay, we'll have a look. NZUSD 30-minute time frame as well. Okay, no problem. We'll start with dollar yen since I'm on the yen pairs, and then we'll take a look at NZUSD for you. So dollar yen. So I'm still looking for a push back into this level, which is 141. That's still very much my interest for dollar yen. Yeah, ever since we broke through 150, that's been the target, and we're kind of inches away already. So I do think price is just going to naturally roll over there. In terms of a trade, I spoke about a couple levels the past week or so. I said that it would be nice to get a retest of this area, or if the market was a bit more bullish than expected, a retest of this area, but neither happened. The market kind of just slowly rolled over, which I said I think price might do that actually. We have recovered a little bit, so it looks like support is holding. Again, potentially the pullback is still on. I'm not too sure here. I've got a feeling we might see another rollover. You know, price might respect something a bit more intraday on the hourly or the 50-minute chart. Still seeing consistent lower highs here. Might see something like that and a sell. So that could be something to eye out. Keep your eye on. Like I said, I'm more focused with the 4 hour in terms of entries and execution. So those would be levels I'll be looking to work with if dollar yen would retrace. But since we're so close to 140, 141, I've got a feeling we probably might just roll over and go and test the support level. But in terms of direction, still very, very bearish here for dollar yen. I do think more downside is still likely to come, and then we can investigate what happens at that support level, whether we turn around or break through. But yeah, I still do see price falling a little bit further. In terms of NZUSD, so this one on the 30, I'm pretty bullish on. So that's kind of what I'm looking at in general for NZUSD, which is of course the pullback of this bullish move and then continued upside. But a retest of the high is kind of where I'm looking for that to happen. On the 30-minute time frame, there might be some nice sells on the way. If I get rid of this. So yeah, there might be some nice sells here on the 30. Again, it's a bit more an aggressive play. The market is still bullish, don't get me wrong. But I can see with how the market's moving that we're clearly showing signs of fatigue. We put in this high over there. Strong drop, broke some structure. We did put a low in, price came back into the same high, and then we saw another pretty strong move to the downside there as well. Hasn't gone and broken through this low, but we are seeing some selling pressure come back into the market, which is showing signs that, okay, a top is potentially going to fall. So in terms of a trade idea, I probably wait to see if we can push past the highs there again, look to see if we can get another rejection, And that could be a nice trade to take on the way back down. Again, a bit more aggressive, but judging how we're moving, I think it makes for a good position. And, kind of at least a push back into the kind of trend line area there as well. So, ends the USD 30-minute. I think that could be a nice short. Just above the highs, I would wait to see if we can spike through them, grab liquidity, because there would be a lot of stop losses here already. Previous sellers here and here locating their stop losses above the high. So it would be nice if we can maneuver above that, then reject. I think that could be a nice trade. But sooner or later, this is going to retrace, and we're seeing clear signs of it happening. So, yeah, I would say shorts look good. Okay, so any trades this week? Nah, no positions this week. I've been looking a lot of Euro Yen, Euro USD, Pound, Aussie, New Zealand. They've just been flying, so it's been difficult to find a position in the 4 hour. Hoping we can see some pullbacks pretty soon, but no setups this week. Where was I? Darkshon, good morning. Hope you are well. How are things looking today, Naz and GJ, please? Yes, we will take a look. Haven't actually gone through any of the indices yet. But not a lot of movement today. Things a little bit sideways, especially dollar-wise. USD market's not doing anything crazy. Yen pairs maybe a little bit bullish this morning. But nothing exceptional for them. It looks like the market is potentially quieting a little bit now. I think we got Euro interest later, don't we? Is it at 115? Yes, it is. So I think that's the news event I'm interested in, because rates are expected to cut and Euro's been very bullish. So I feel like a rate cut for Euro might be the excuse Euro needs to actually start to sell, because it's been so bullish, and doesn't look like coming down, but then potentially a rate cut is a bit of an excuse for some pullback. So yeah, not much in the market, to be honest, at least on the 4 hour anyway. But I'll go through some indices. I'll take a look at NAS and GJ. No problem, Philip. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. We'll see you hopefully tomorrow, if not next week. But thank you for coming on. Hey, Lighton, what's up? Bonjour, bonjour. My French is not very good there, so I don't know what that means. Does monde mean world? Not sure. But I hope you're well. CS integrated, not much waves today for the DXY. No. I'll take a look at the dollar again, but when I looked at it this morning, it was pretty flat as well. Yes, we can use these R, dollar CAD, dollar yen, no problem. Let me go take a look at NAS and GJ first. So NAS 100, I think this was looking bearish, wasn't it? Actually, I did have a peep at this one yesterday, before the day ended, and it was looking pretty bearish. We've seen some upside. Yeah, I think NAS is sooner or later and getting ready for a big drop here, to be honest. I feel like the odds of us putting the higher low in and pushing up are slowly slipping away. We had that massive move there, but it hasn't really led to anything. So I think we can look to sell off, to be honest. I said yesterday that we might go fill the gap properly first, which we didn't quite do. We did leave a bit of space. So as you can see there, I can get this horizontal wave through. That's where the gap actually started from there, but we haven't actually come back to retest that support level. We just missed it. So I was speaking about potentially price pushing up and then selling off, but no, price just sold off straight away. I think there's still more room to the downside for the NAS. We are coming from support, so keeping that in mind there a little bit. But again, if you're looking more like the 5-minute chart, you're not necessarily looking to try and capitalize on a big swing like that necessarily. I mean, I think in terms of price action at the moment, I feel like we're probably going to push back to the high there. So if anything, there could be some nice short-term buys there for the NAS back into resistance. I need to wait for a bit more development before I do start to call some shorts. I mean, I do like this level here on the left. Nice resistance around 18,500. I think that would be a nice place for a short, but I need to see how we get there. Do we continuously move correctively or do we push hard? That will make a big difference. If it is going to be a slight push up, then I think the shorts there will look really good. So yeah, NAS I'm actually still pretty bearish on like the 4-hour time frame. It does look like we can still see more downside. But first on the 5-minute chart, pretty consistent uptrend. Looks like price is respecting support now, so I would be bullish, at least back to the high. And then if we're looking to sell, perhaps this level could look good, but I need to monitor how we get there before I really kind of, back that as a level to short from. But yeah, I do like how slow we're moving. So yeah, NAS shorts look good from, is that 18,600? Yeah, more or less 18,600. But I think buys look good more or less now. And we could probably see a push back into 18,500. Okay, so we'll go through GJ next as well for dark shot, and then we'll go through some of the USD pairs for lighter and take a look at the DXY as well. Just got 20 pips. Euro, nice. Congrats, Alfonso. Was that shorting it? Okay, so let's take a look at GJ. So yeah, pound yen recovered pretty aggressively to the upside. So we had a bit of a sell yesterday from the high, but it was a very quick recovery of that. So I'm not looking for price to really sell off anymore for pound yen, at least in the lower time frames. I think we're likely going to break through that 4-hour resistance first. So I do think this 4-hour level is going to break at some point, and we're going to get a bigger push to the upside. But for the 5-minute chart anyway, let me get rid of that. Okay, so 5-minute point of view, I think we can still make resistance, to be honest. So I'm expecting us to get back to the high there. This could actually end up being a nice buy here on the double bottom. Maybe push a little bit lower to test that high. But I'll be looking at something like this or something like this for a buy. So 188.6 or double bottom. We'll see how that candle closes, if it can pull back. But if we can respect the support level here, I think that's a nice buy. If we don't respect the support level, well, then we got support below us at 188.6. If not, 188.8. But yeah, for pound yen on the 5, I'm actually a bit bullish on this one. Like I said, 189.5 is where do you think price can get for pound yen. We still got that support level on our left, which price is doing a pretty good job at respecting. So yeah, I do think we can still see price push forward. Okay, we're going to go through the dollar. Hopefully that made sense there on GJ. Yes, past 70 to 80 minutes now. It's deciding to move. Oh, is euro moving now? It's moved a little bit, not much though. I assume you're probably like on the 15-minute chart when you're trading that Alfonso. But yeah, I mean, still more or less in the range. And of course, I'm looking more from a 4-hour perspective. You're a bit more intraday there. But yeah, on the 4-hour chart, was still very much in the range. So yeah, I think euro will likely see retracement. I think maybe even again, if the news goes its way, and I think we could see a pretty big move maybe this afternoon for euro. Okay, let's take a look at DXY. So DXY being very flat. Again, I'm still pretty bearish on the dollar, so naturally still looking for us to sell off. 101.5 is the zone. However, We need price to get there first, of course. So if I can see price pull back into that area, I'll be more than happy to try and find some shorts. If, of course, I see the necessary confirmations. Looking to the left on the weekly chart, you can see price is trading at some very comfortable levels of support right now. Really big move to the upside from that area. And now we're back there again. So if anything for the dollar, buys make the most sense. We're kind of overstretched right now, testing some big levels. I do think we can see a bit of retracement. The market's not going to fall forever. Yeah, I would like to see a bit more development here, because this is more of consolidation than anything really. If we can see a strong break to the upside like such, I think that could be a nice buy afterwards. Yeah, very flat right now for the dollar. Support is holding, which is okay, but it hasn't done anything spectacular. It's not like it's been a big rejection at support. If it was, okay, we might see price really push away from that. Momentum is still very flat right now with the dollar, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do roll over and spike through. But the area I'm interested in for myself is back here at 101.5. I feel like that would be a really nice place to short from. Really strong break of the support. Now potentially coming back to retest that as resistance. But yeah, the dollar's been flat. You can see we did close pretty bearish yesterday because we were just getting nothing but wicks in this zone. But now we've actually got a bit of a close. But yeah, looking to the left, really big support there in the weekly chart. If anything, expecting price to retrace sooner or later. Okay, 50-minute trade. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, so let's take a look at USD ZAR. So have we tested that level yet? Nope, not quite. So USD ZAR, I said 18.7 would be a nice place for a buy. But yeah, we're not quite there yet. We kind of just missed it very by a small distance there, pushed up. Not quite there yet. Again, we were talking about some shorts up here around 19.25 as a nice place to sell from as well. But again, the market didn't quite make it there either. So we're kind of just trading in the middle of nowhere right now. Not really at support yet, and definitely not at resistance either. So I'll leave price alone until we get to one of those areas. Again, USD ZAR as a whole is still bullish in the market. So and on the weekly chart, monthly chart, we're still very bullish as a market as a whole. So I think buys are still very much a good play, whether short term or long term. Actually, let me say that again, bit more short term. I wouldn't look for long term right now. We just had a big rejection of the high. I wouldn't be trying to look to long term anything. But I think that level 18.7 is still looking like a really good level for a buy. We're seeing a healthy rejection there, healthy use of support as well. We're coming down pretty slowly, which is a good sign too. So as long as we can keep that momentum up, reject it, maybe provide some wicks, I do think we could see a nice buy opportunity and perhaps a push back into resistance. And of course, if the move to the upside happens first, then that's something I'll be looking at. In terms of USD CAD, so USD CAD I'm still pretty bearish on, but we are trading at support right now. So again, I'll expand, look at the weekly chart, what we're doing. Price is trading through massive support right now. Well, it was resistance, but definitely support right now. So because of that, I'm not really interested in buying dollar CAD, but I do feel like upside is likely at some point. We saw a pretty strong close on Tuesday. Wednesday did come back down pretty hard, but all it's done is come back into support. So hasn't really done too much, to be honest, because we could just respect support again and look bullish as well. Again, the move I'm interested for dollar CAD is the sales from 1.406 up here. So that's kind of where I want to see price push towards before selling off. Or again, if we have a much bigger pullback, 1.416 looks pretty good as well. But this is bullish territory. So if we pull back from here, great. Hopefully we can have a nice slow corrective pullback, retest resistance, and then that's where I'll be looking for some entries. And if we can make it back into support again, that's probably where I'll start looking to take some positions off just in case we have a big reaction. Of course, likewise with that level as well. But the way I see dollar CAD right now is a lot of momentum to the downside. Very, very strong weekly close there. Look at the strength in that candle. So I do think we're likely to keep falling, to be honest. It's just about, can we find resistance? Can we find a healthy place to short the market if the trend is going to continue? So that's kind of really what I'm waiting for. And in terms of dollar yen, dollar yen you asked for as well. In terms of dollar yen, I think we're just going to keep falling as well, to be honest. Very, very close into major support. If I back away, you can see this is the support level we're trading in, 141. That's the level I'm expecting price to get to, 141, 140. Of course, 140 is a big round number, so probably refer it to as that. But really big support, expecting price to come back and test that level. Not too far away, so I think we'll just slowly roll over. I did mention a couple of areas where we could pull back to for a short, 145 and 147. But it looks like we're kind of just slowly rolling over right now. I have mapped out a lower time frame area here, which looks like price is respecting, and we could sell off from there simply because that bigger pullback is looking less and less likely to happen. So if the market, excuse me, stays within this channel, we probably can just keep falling from this area here, to be honest. 143 looks good to hold. Nice rejection there this morning. So yeah, dollar yen expecting another drop as well, and 141 would be the target. So yeah, pretty bearish on those pairs. USD ZAR, USD CAD, USD JPY, of course, all USD pairs, so you would expect a similar bias. Of course, USD ZAR does look like it has a decent buy to it as well, so I wouldn't rule that out. And they all look like they have a decent buy too. USD JPY, USD ZAR, USD CAD are all quite stretched, so I do expect the bigger move to be with the bears, but they are coming back into some big levels of support, which could give us some upside, some counter trend opportunities. I'm personally not so interested in that, but it could be something to look at for perhaps a day or two. So keep an eye on that for the USD pairs. Let me take a quick look at the other indices, because I went through the S&P. I went through NAS. I haven't looked at the S&P yet, or US 30. Okay, so pretty much identical to NAS, to be honest, in terms of the support we have come into and the reaction we've had. If we drop to the hourly chart, so we come back into this area, doing a pretty good job at respecting it. We've kind of sold off a little bit. I'm not too sure if I'll try and sell from there. I mean, I don't trade the S&P, so I know I won't, but I feel like a bit too aggressive there. I wouldn't mind if price actually pushed back to the high, then shorted. But yeah, in terms of the S&P, I do think we're likely to roll over now. We had that really big move on Wednesday, hasn't amounted to much. As I said, the longer we continue to move sideways and not really see any bullish pressure come back into the market, I think the higher the chance we do see some more downside and price gets back to lows. So S&P not looking good at all. Baco Diana, what's up? Correlation between gold and silver. Well, it's a very positive one. Again, both metals. Both are seen as assets we can hold on to for the future, which I like to always hold and retain value, especially well, gold is a bit more rare and a bit more valued metal, but silver has a lot of use to it as well. You know, you can use silver for multiple things. And it's, of course, it's a raw metal from the earth, so it's going to have value. There's only so much silver, only so much gold in the earth, so they're always going to retain value, and people want to invest in that. So typically when people are looking to invest in metals, gold is normally the big one, silver is the big one as well, platinum as well. And typically when people invest in gold, they're investing in silver too, so they will be correlated. If people are taking money out of gold, people are normally taking money out of silver too. They're kind of a similar kettle of fish. And typically, at times of fear, when people are scared with the dollar, people will take money out the dollar and put it into gold, put it into silver, other metals, other commodities as well. So they have that kind of correlation in terms of fear, risk on and risk off as well. So typically they go up together and typically they go down together. When people are investing metals, they look at them the most. When people are fearful of the dollar, they put money into those metals, and when they've got a bit more faith in the dollar, they can definitely take money out of them and put it back into the dollar as well. So you could see price dip at the same time. But yeah, they are positively correlated. So if you're looking to buy gold, you're probably looking to buy silver at the same time. I mean, in terms of like the correlation. If there's a bullish setup on gold, there probably is a bullish setup on silver most of the time. Although now it's actually a bit awkward. No problem, Lighton. Happy to help. Is there USD Diamond? Not that I know of, actually. It would be interesting to see gold diamond. Not that I know of. I don't even know what the prefix is for diamond. To be honest, I've never heard anyone talk about trading diamonds. That's actually a good question. I've never heard of anyone trading diamonds. I've never seen anyone pull up a diamond chart. So I don't think that is the case. I mean, maybe there is. I'm just focusing on the pairs that I'm trading. I don't go looking around to see what's going around. But yeah, just thinking of it now, I've never heard anyone talk about diamond. So I don't know. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. But yeah, it would be interesting to see a diamond chart. To be honest, quite cool to trade diamonds. But yeah, I can't answer that question because I don't know. I don't know. I don't think. Yeah, I don't want to answer it because I don't want to give you false information. But yeah, I literally don't know. I've never seen anyone talk about it, to be honest. Anyway, let me take a look at US 30. The good old Dow Jones, yeah, looking pretty bearish. So again, very bullish last week, looking all strong, but we've come back into support and it's not really provided much bounce, to be honest. Back into resistance, sorry. We've kind of lacked that momentum, that follow through. So I do think price is more likely now just to roll over back into support, to be honest. And we're back at square one again for US 30. I think we're well and truly in a bit of a bearish market right now for the indices. And we, of course, had that big bullish candle on Wednesday, which made me think, okay, maybe we're going to snap back out of it. Nope. Price looked like it's rolling over. Of course, not the best time to be shorting the Dow Jones as we come back into support on our left. If anything, there might be some nice buys right now. But I do think we're probably going to break through at some point and head back into the low. Whether we bounce first and push up, then break it, or break it straight away, I do think the Dow Jones is going to naturally roll over back into support. And 37k would be the target for that idea. So, yeah, indices not looking too good. How are we looking on the FTSE? What we doing? Okay, so yesterday talked about a buy opportunity back at this area. Wow, looks like we just about missed it by a smidge. That's unfortunate. I mean, I don't trade the FTSE, but someone asked me to take a look at it. Said some buys would be good at that zone, but looks like we just missed it. Yeah, I mean, more or less we have respected resistance here, so we have come back into a nice area. Just, I was being a bit more specific. We're fading at the highs there. I mean, overall the FTSE is still pretty corrective, so I think at some stage we do have a bit of a fall, but I wouldn't be looking to try and short it just yet. We're not really trading at any area of significance. UK 100, nope, not UK 100, sorry, just looking at the UK 100. The DAX, I meant to type. The DAX, okay, the DAX is still very slow, pushing back into resistance. So it looks like the DAX is probably going to have a bit of a move to the downside now as well because of how slow we're moving. Major resistance, really nice drop there. Now we had a very slow staggered push back into that level. 21,500, I do think we're likely going to have a push back down again now. So yeah, looking across the board, it's not looking too hot for the indices. US indices, I think there's downside room for them. Just looked at the FTSE. That one still looks relatively bullish, but very, very corrective. So at some point, I do think we've got a drop. And the DAX is already struggling at resistance already. So I feel like a drop is imminent there. Soccer highlights, what's up? Hope you're well. I wanted to ask, what do you think of Euro USD ahead of the ECB on cutting interest rates later today? Is there a short opportunity maybe? Yes, I think there could be a short opportunity maybe. There could be a short opportunity. I mean, typically when a central bank cuts rates for their currency, most of the time you're going to see a bearish reaction to that. Sometimes you could see a bearish reaction which quickly turns bullish for whatever reason. Maybe there's some underlying economic news that is making the currency bullish for whatever reason, so the rate cut doesn't really have its effect. I've seen that happen many times, which is why rate cuts or rate hikes are not guaranteed to give you, the expected reaction for a currency. So again, with the way I trade, I never really look and try and trade the news directly. If a currency is cutting rates, I'm not like, okay, let me just try and short the currency pair. That's never the plan. If I can find a trade idea which makes me short, and then it happens that there's a rate cut as well, and that's great. That provides a bit more confidence for the trade for the trade playing out. But I never try and base a trade around a rate cut. I think if you're going to do that, wait for the rate to happen, wait for the reaction to happen, wait for the market to settle, and then see what opportunity there comes along. Because if we do see a bearish euro and the market does drop, well, probably we'll see a bit more weakness maybe for the next day or two. That'll probably be for next week as well. So there might be some shorts following that. So I would suggest, if you're looking to try and trade the news, wait for it to happen first and then take a trade, because there'll be a lot of people rushing into euro before the rate cut happens, and as it happens as well, trying to take advantage of the fluctuations of how volatile the market might be. And there'll be a lot of people getting wicked out and stopped, especially on the lower time frames like the 5 and the 1 minute chart. So I would suggest wait for the news to come out, wait for the dust to settle, and then you can probably plot a trade from that. And that way you won't be surprised for anything, because let's say if the rate does, if they do cut rates, but for some whatever reason euro's bullish, well, you're not going to be too panicked about that because you weren't in the trade in the first place, and that might keep you out of the market. So I do think there's a good chance euro could see some weakness. Euro is pretty stretched right now as well. It's been very bullish for the past couple of weeks. So I feel like we are due a weak euro or weaker euro at some point. And I feel like a rate cut is definitely a good excuse for that to happen. So I think we could see one. I'm not jumping into a position because of that either. I have that expectation, but I'm not going to jump into a trade just because there isn't one at the moment. So maybe the news can speed things up, and maybe a nice opportunity might form later today or tomorrow or whenever. But yeah, I'm never really one to try and trade a news event outright. It can be a nice confluence for a trade, but I never look to try and jump in quickly before, because I expect a weak euro or weak or strong currency. Frank, I'm not in any positions at the moment. It's been a bit of a slow week for myself. Nothing really popping right now. I've been focused a lot on the USD pairs, but I just haven't really seen any suitable pullbacks for them, to be honest. Euro just been very, very sideways, so not a lot to discuss there. We've opened the week and we've just been flat. Pound USD, we've just kept flying this week. We opened with the week and we've just seen bullish candle after bullish candle. So I'm waiting for us to retrace and hopefully find some longs on the retest of 1.31 or 1.3. Both levels look really good. Aussie dollar, I like the longs there as well, but again, it's just been so bullish. We're back in resistance now, so I'm kind of hoping for a bit of a correction, then a buy there. Or if you do break to the upside, then I'll look for the retest as well. But at the moment, we're not at either area. And it ends the USD, same situation. Very, very bullish for this one too. Still looking to buy this, but I need price to pull back into these areas before I can find an opportunity. And of course, pound NZD too. Looking to short this one, but it's been pretty bearish this week. This is kind of where I look to get involved. Hasn't quite made its way there yet. So out of the kind of four or five opportunities I'm looking at in the market, we've just seen a lot of momentum and not a lot of pullbacks. So it's been difficult to actually find a position this week. Yeah, I didn't have many pairs on my watch just coming into the week anyway. Yeah, CAD pairs not really interested in. Crosses, apart from pound NZD, not really interested in. And CHF pairs, I feel like there could be some nice buys coming up. Expecting Aussie CHF, New Zealand CHF to see a lot more upside, but they have been just a bit flat this week, to be honest. You can see Aussie CHF just sideways. So momentum has completely died out from a bullish and bearish standpoint. New Zealand CHF, perhaps there's still a little bit of hope. If you can see a solid break of resistance, that would excite me. Still expecting price to at least come back and test this level here. So there's still a lot more upside, which I'm expecting New Zealand CHF to go and hit. Aussie CHF likewise as well. I feel like we're at least coming back to retest this area. So again, we're all-time lows. Prices are likely to recover that. So if we can break resistance, that will be something I'll consider. But other than that, it's been very, very dry there for the CHF pairs too. Again, not every week's going to be a very active week in the market. Some weeks you're not going to take a trade. Some weeks you're going to take 2 or 3 or even more positions. And that's natural, because with your trading system, there'll be times where your system is providing a lot of opportunities. There'll be times where your system is not providing a lot. And you don't want to have the same expectation every week that, okay, if you average 1 or 2 trades a week, that means every week you're taking 1 or 2 trades. If you average 1 or 2 trades, that means you could take 3 one week, 0 the next, 4 another week, 1 the next, 0 2 weeks in a row, 3 2 weeks in a row, and that will eventually be equivalent to 1 to 2 trades a week. Yeah, that's healthy trading, because you're striking when the iron's hot, and when there's nothing for you, you stay out of the market. What do I think about fundamental and sentiment analysis? Most of the time, your analysis are based on technicals. Should I consider technical analysis as an overall? Again, if I think a good book to take a look at is what's it called again? It's gone out. It's gone out of my head. I literally got it. Okay, it's not on that shelf, it's on my other shelf. It will come back to me. But basically, the point I'm trying to make is that there are successful traders in every arena. Fundamental, I think sentiment is probably more of a confluence. So I think fundamental and technical are your big ones. Sentiment as well. Sentiment analysis, there are some traders that base purely off sentiment as well, to be honest. That's a bit more rare. But yeah, fundamental analysis, technical analysis are huge indications of what the market could do next. You can focus purely on technicals if you want. There's been very successful traders, billions of dollars made purely based on technical decisions. And same with fundamentals, $1 billion in profit based almost purely on fundamentals. You need at least a bit of technicals for your entry and your stop loss. But 90% of the decision was based on fundamentals. So the point I'm trying to illustrate is that it doesn't really matter what you focus on. It just depends how you focus on it and how well you apply it to the market. I focus purely on technicals. Other traders focus purely on fundamentals, and still could be very, very successful. So it just depends, whatever floats your boat. You can use both as well. That's a good way to tackle it as well, because they both can complement each other. It's just that when you're using technicals, it's based on pattern recognition and based on applying historical tendencies of what the market likely does and applying that to the current price. The reason why I don't focus on fundamentals so much, because it kind of gets in the way of that sometimes a little bit, because I want to be as true to my price action and true to my data as possible. And sometimes fundamentals might compromise that a little bit. Other people focus purely on what they're expecting currencies to do. If currencies are looking like it might get stronger against another one, well, they're looking to buy that. And then, of course, they'll use their technicals to enter and exit and place their stop losses. So it's up to you, really. There is no right or wrong. It's just how well you can apply the information you have. So it is completely up to you. I don't want to say no, focus on technicals. I know that's what I do, but I know there are other traders who focus on fundamentals and still make very good returns as well. So yeah, it's up to what you want to focus on. And of course, in terms of technicals, because that's what I do, so that's what I talk a lot about on my channel, because that's what I know. But if you want to dive into fundamentals and use that as a real basis of your trading decisions as well, definitely go through that as well. I'm not going to say not to. But yeah, in terms of markets at the moment, we've kind of just seen a little bit slow moving price. We haven't really seen anything too fast, at least kind of this week so much, or at least the past couple of days anyway. It's been a little bit slow, and I think the market is just kind of calming down because, of course, the market's been so volatile the last week or two. It's not going to stay volatile forever. It's going to come, volatile markets come and go. The market will be flat for a bit, very volatile, relax a little bit, very volatile, relax a little bit, very volatile, relax for a bit, and volatile again. Price will come in and go like this. So we kind of just seen one of these big volatile moves. So kind of probably coming back into, that is a horrendous arrow. Let me do that again. Let me choose a tool. We're probably coming into this stage now when things are becoming a little bit more flat again. And eventually at some point we'll pick up. Maybe a big news event happens, or Trump says something, or whatever happens. The markets will become a bit more volatile. You can kind of see it here. Big volatile move, bit more flat, bit more volatile, bit more flat, bit more volatile, bit more flat, volatile. It comes and goes. So it looks like we might be in one of these periods with a bit of consolidation, which means that you have to be a bit more cautious. If you have the same attitude when you're trading this sort of market condition versus this condition, well, you're doing something wrong, because momentum is very strong here. Momentum is not strong at all. Price is just bouncing off resistance and support. So you can't be having the same approach. It's a different market condition entirely. And I've got a feeling we might be in this little period for a little bit. Maybe price starts to pause a little bit, create some support, then eventually we have that recovery. But we'll see. We'll see. The biggest thing with trading is just staying ready for opportunities, because you don't know what's going to happen next. Maybe the volatile markets are not done yet. Maybe we're going to have another big move next week. Who knows? Or maybe we're going to be flat for a few weeks. Both are as likely as each other, really. So just staying patient for that. And in terms of the other yen pairs, I was supposed to finish off the yen pairs, but I didn't. In terms of some of the other yen pairs, and I'll look at the yen basket as well. Actually, let me look at the yen basket first. Okay, so not much this week. You can see that's all the movement we've had this week for the yen. Well, not last week, the week before that, pretty big move to the upside. Pretty volatile, of course. Last week, pretty volatile as well. Big wick to the downside, big wick to the upside, but closes a doji. So no real kind of overall direction for last week, just very flat. And looks like this week's kind of continuing that. If I drop to the daily chart, very ugly price action. You can see we're pretty much respecting resistance there. So no kind of real indication of what we're going to do next. A bit of a bullish candle yesterday, but we just looks like we're closing into resistance. Again, I'm pretty bullish with the yen basket, but ideally something like this would be nice. I pull back into this zone because you can see we had that doji. Then price, of course, flew to the upside. That tells me that a lot of momentum came from here. So if we do come back for a retest, there's a good chance we do find support and we can see a bit of a move to the upside here. So that would be my preferred area for a long here for the yen basket. That's kind of where I'll look to try and buy the market. Expectations back to the highs, but I do feel we'll eventually take out the wick there. But at the moment, you can see just very, very flat this week. So not a lot to work with. Lower time frames, you might find some nice kind of counter trend plays. Selling high, buying low. But in terms of momentum, especially in the 4-hour chart, we've been incredibly flat. Haven't done much this week. What's up, clickbait? Hope you're well. No problem. Yeah, we'll take a look at GJ. We'll take a look at GJ for you. I was just going to go through some yen pairs, actually. So, pound JPY. So, yeah, with pound JPY, it's an interesting one because I am looking to short this, but I want to see a much bigger pullback. So, this is where I'm looking to see if I can sell pound yen from, because overall, we are still seeing these lower highs, 1, 2, 3. I'm looking to see if I can catch a fourth. Because at the moment, we're kind of just testing support right now. And it's not the best place for a swing trade. Of course, if you're intraday, of course you can take shorts here. Because your expectation is to be in and out of the market within the day or even within a session. So taking shorts in these areas are not a problem. If you look to try and hold a trade for 2, 3 days, 4 days, over a week, well, you're kind of banking that support's going to break, which might not happen. So it's a bit of a tricky place to short from. So that's why I want to see a bigger pullback, because I know this is where previous selling pressure come into the market. There's a good chance for another lower high to form. I'll be a lot more confident to hold trades from this area for a few days rather than here. If I'm selling, of course. If I'm buying, then that's different. But drop to the 4-hour chart. We had a bit of a bearish move yesterday. Price did break, Price respected resistance there. We did get a bit of a sell. We were pointing out how corrective price was on the way up. And typically when price is really corrective like that, we normally do move to the downside anyway. So I did say some sells look good there. We did push down. We had a really sharp recovery. We have come back into some supply here, which looks like price is respecting. I did say we might find some nice buys here for pound yen, but looks like we've just seen a sudden gust of momentum here because we're pushing down pretty hard. And it looks like we've just smashed through support there and support here as well. So if we can hold support here, so if we can show signs of recovering that, I do think this could be a nice place for a buy for pound yen. But if we don't, and if we take out the low here as well, then that means that pound yen is likely going to come back into support here. So something like this would be a nice trade. maybe this afternoon or probably tomorrow at this point. But yeah, pound yen, I did say at the start of the stream that we might be seeing some nice buys here, but yeah, no signs of rejection, to be honest. We closed into the level, next candle closed below, so that level is done and dusted unless we recover it. If we continue to sell and we break through the low here, then I'll be looking at a push back to 187.7, and some pullbacks like that will look good. So that's kind of what I'll be looking on the 15-minute chart. But 4 hours, just very sideways, just a lot of consolidation, so I'm not really liking the price action anyway. We're not testing resistance. We're not really at any meaningful, significant area on the 4 hour. But I still like this opportunity. I think it's a little bit optimistic if my expectation of price getting there. But if it does get there, great. I can probably find some shorts. But yeah, my long-term expectation for pound yen is still a push into the wick low here. I'm still very bearish in the higher time frames. So I do think we're still due a pretty big sell for this one. Whether we pull back or break straight through, I don't know. But that would be a smart place for a short if we get there. So that's what I'm looking at long term as well. No problem, happy to help. Darbo, you only need to say the message once, my friend. I can definitely read the first one. I want to buy a prop firm. Which one do you recommend? Well, again, that's completely up to you. I mean, I have my own prop firm, Elevating Traders. You can check the website out. If the website is not linked in the description, you can just type it into your search bar, elevatingtraders.com. But again, that's completely your decision to make. But of course, since I own the Elevating Traders, I'm of course going to recommend that one. But yeah, in terms of the yen pairs, I'm still very bearish. So if price can see a lot more downside, I'll be very happy. But I kind of want the bigger pullback first so I can take the short. In fairness, I'm more focused on euro yen. So if pound yen does have that pullback, great. If it doesn't, I'm not too upset, because euro yen looks like the more attractive opportunity. Number one, we're trading at a better place. Number two, we haven't really seen much of a swing yet for euro yen, so I kind of expect this one to drop hard when it does eventually. And yeah, I was going to say and three, but there's no third reason. There's only those two reasons. We're at a better price, and we haven't really had a big sell yet, so there's still more momentum to come, likely more momentum to come. So yeah, euro yen, in terms of getting a trade, ideally I'd want to be as high up as possible in resistance, because it's a very noisy market right now. So yeah, I would avoid trying to find some entries there, just because you won't get a safe stop loss. If we're at resistance, great, we can base a trade there. But yeah, euro yen still short bias. As I said, with the yen basket, I still do have a very bullish bias for this one as well. But that's really where I want to buy it from. We'll see if that can happen. How's CAD yen doing? Last time I looked at this one, we're very flat. Yeah, we still are. We've got support below us, which price is still just about respecting. But we're not really doing too much. We're not really seeing aggressive reactions. We're not really seeing aggressive bearish momentum. We're just doing a little bit of both right now. So I'm not a big fan of CAD yen at all, to be honest. Clickbait, what's up? I have some good buys in GJ from earlier. Can I share my chart here? You can't do that. YouTube don't really allow that. What you can do is, if you're in the Discord, the Discord link is in the description below. You can share your chart there. I can take a look at it there, and I can also bring it up onto the screen as well. But yeah, you used to be able to share charts on the chat, but I think YouTube stopped allowing people to share links in the chat. So yeah, check out the Discord. You can post your chart snippet image. There's a trade idea tab on the left. You can share it there and I can bring it up. So yeah, in terms of the rest of the week, so we are coming up to the end of the stream. I'm just kind of hoping and praying that we could see some pullbacks for the USD pairs, because I actually really like the USD pairs. I think Aussie dollar, I think New Zealand dollar look really good for buys. I think pound USD looks really good for buys. It's just that if we can get a decent pullback for them, which is the biggest question. Because I do think we're forming a bit of a bottom, and if this is a bottom, well, that means there's a lot of room for us to push into. So that's kind of where my focus is. Euro yen focus has been on that pair for a while. I still like the shorts there too, but I need to see a little bit of a push to the upside first before I do get short. I don't know, maybe the interest rates today might cause euro to fall, so maybe I miss out on that, but hopefully next week I might find a nice entry to get involved with that one as well. But yeah, it's been a pretty flat week, no opportunities really, so being on the sidelines a little bit. Do you recommend someone to pay for a prop firm while I don't have my own verified account? What do you mean? Oh, do you mean, do I recommend for someone to pay to buy a prop firm challenge while you don't have your own personal account? Is that what you mean? I mean, I probably would say you probably want your own personal account first before you do buy a prop firm challenge. Just because with your personal account, if you're seeing success there, then that will give you the confidence to actually go and start a challenge with a prop firm. If you're just paying for a challenge, haven't traded with a bit of pressure, a bit of live, a bit of pressure when you're trading, if you're just purely demo, then that's gonna come back and slap you in the face a little bit. Yeah, I would recommend. Again, it's not like a compulsory thing to do, but I would say it's a better journey if you traded with a bit of your own money first. It doesn't have to be a lot. It can just be just a little bit, just to find a bit of rhythm in terms of placing trades on live capital and having something on the line a little bit. Because if it's just a demo account, well, if you blow a demo account, who cares? So you can always just recycle it. But if it's a bit of live capital, it's nice to get your feet a little bit wet, experience that pressure a little bit before you do buy a challenge. So I would recommend it. Yeah, I would recommend it. But of course, it's not a must. But I think if you're gonna trade with a bit of pressure, because the challenge is a bit pressurizing, you've got rules to stick to. I know there's no time limits anymore, but you've got rules to stick to, and you want to have practice that bit with some pressure. Okay, I see the chart. Let me see if I can share that. Okay, so that's the chart that Clickbait has shared in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, by the way, there's a link to it in the description, so you can join and join the community. Completely free to join. But yeah, I mean, that's more or less the area I'm looking to sell from as well. 192, 193. If price can get there, I'll be happy to short from and look for a big swing. I'm not so much looking for the buys. We've had that nice reaction, to be honest, so that's a good call. But yeah, I'm not so much interested in the buys, to be honest. Very bearish on the yen pairs. I'm only really looking to short them. But the sells, yeah, pretty much looking at the same zone, to be honest. If we can see a nice move, correct move back to resistance supply, I'll be more than happy to short from there and try and catch a move down, move back down. So I like the idea. I like the idea, clickbait. Thanks for being trading demo for almost 6 months, but there is no emotions anyway. Thanks a lot. No problem. No problem. Yeah, I think it's just good to get yourself with a bit of risk, because that's what trading is. You're betting risk. You know, if trading was just on demo, it would be a lot easier because you won't be sweating every time you're in a bit of drawdown. No problem, clickbait. What's up, Chucks? Just in time for the end of the stream. What pair is that? This is Euro yen. I'm looking to see if I can catch a sell, but I got a feeling I might miss out because the ECB interest rate cuts in about an hour and 15 minutes, and we might see a pretty bearish euro. We'll have to wait and see. But I will actually be live again later today, so if you do want to see more of my analysis and see my reaction to the ECB interest rate later today, I actually will be live with Trader Nick on his channel. So if you're free in about an hour and 45 minutes is when I will go live with him on his channel. So check that stream out later today. If not, I will be live again tomorrow as well, as always, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. So if you did come late or miss the stream or just want to see more of the stream, then of course we'll be live again tomorrow. So make sure you're there to check it out. But guys, I really appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you do drop a like and subscribe before you do leave. It does really help out the channel. And if you're enjoying it, finding it informative, educational, it does really help out, helps the channel out. So I do really appreciate that. And of course, hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future, because you will be notified. And of course, check out the Discord link to Elevating Traders Discord channel. Free to join the community, share ideas. I'm there as well. So if you do want to chat with myself, make sure you're in the Discord. But guys, really appreciate you tuning in. Have a great day. If I don't see you later today, then hopefully I will see you tomorrow. But take care, guys. Have a good one.